Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection. Headline edition will bring you special reports and interviews in a moment.
How you doing? This is the guy from Pittsburgh. And on my paranormal forum, the guy from Pittsburgh Paranormal Forum, I've put 30 posts about the missing Malaysian airliner. And they still can't find this thing. You know, for years we've been told they got satellites that could find something the size of a golf ball. That's a little bit bigger than a golf ball, but that's all I got that looks like a golf ball right now. I don't even have an egg in the house. I go get going groceries today. And they can find a license plate from orbit. They can read your license plate. The NSA can track every phone call and every email on the planet. If they ain't doing it, Google is. But they can't find a plane like this UFO here. They got a plane the size of a football field. They can't find it. And this morning, the Chinese satellite, the Chinese put out news that a satellite may have seen something floating in the ocean. Well, I heard military experts and pilots say that, and one of our experts who dealt with Flight 800, another mysterious crash that numerous reports said a missile hit it, and they happened to tell us the BS that it was a fuel tank when no other plane in that type ever had a fuel tank explosion. So you believe that. You believe the stuff about 9/11 too. Like, where is the footage from the 7-Eleven and other places that took video of what hit the Pentagon? It was confiscated by the FBI in 2001 and never seen the light of day. Why hasn't anybody asked for a Freedom of Information Act thing for that video? Why hasn't the government released it? What do they got to hide on that one? But that's digressing. And by the way, I got one more digression. That opening I got is kind of curious because the guy says a flying disc has been found by the Air Force, and then he says it's a missile, and that's kind of weird. I wonder why he said that. Of course, it's going back to 1947. That's a recording of a live broadcast. Unsealed alien files or UFO hunters, I think, use that. So I've been wondering about that every time I play it. But to go back to this plane, they're looking for this thing out in the ocean. We've heard stories how it went west, how it went east, I guess how it went north, it went south, it went up, it went down. The pilot made a phone call before they took off to some mystery phone caller. Maybe he was ordering a pizza from Domino's for all I know. And they're trying to investigate the phone call. This guy had a flight simulator in his house, for God's sakes. Who has a flight simulator in their house? I mean, I might have been in his garage. They haven't said, I don't think they've said where the hell this thing is. But I've seen these documentaries where they take somebody through a flight simulator. Take a newsman, he flies a plane. I had one guy, he was a newsman, never flew a plane before, but the guy coached him through it. He landed the damn jet and did a pretty good job of it. I couldn't. I got no problems with takeoffs in flight simulator. It's when I land. Every time I land, I crash a damn plane. That's why I gave up on that game. I'm no good at it. But I think they're looking in the wrong place, because every expert I've heard on television or heard on the radio or seen on television has said you're gonna have doors, seats, debris coming off this thing if it landed in the ocean. And even the expert from the FAA said when Flight 800 uh, went down off the coast of the United States, off of Long Island. Debris washed up on the shore within a week. Nobody's finding any debris washed up on any shore. It's not the shore of Australia, it's not the shore of Thailand, it's not the shore of Vietnam, or it's not the shore of Malaysia. This is why I don't think it's in the ocean. So you only got two conclusions. It landed on land, or this area is part of the Devil's Triangle, and a UFO captured the damn thing. Or, actually, the third conclusion, it went to a time warp, like people have reported happening to their planes in the Bermuda Triangle. Because they should have found debris for this thing. It's been almost 2 weeks. And we've been seeing constant stories how they look for debris. They get there, no debris, can't find it. Don't know where it is. Haven't seen it. You know, they go out there with ships, planes, they got guys with binoculars, they got umpty-ump satellites looking for this, and I still haven't heard Obama talk about this. Not word one. What's he doing? He's sitting there doing his Final Four, and he's mad because he didn't get his Final Four picks, and his wife is taking a trip to China to play ping pong on taxpayer dollars. You don't got ping pong tables over here, Mrs. Obama. You can't play ping pong with Americans. You got to go all the way to China to play ping pong? What the hell is that? We got a government that's broke. And you're taking a private United States jet with a hard-earned taxpayers having their money soaked out of them. They're having their every dollar squeezed out of them every month. And even guys that don't pay taxes like me still get the dollar squeeze for inflation. And the phony baloney Janet, whatever the hell her name is, the Fed, debasing our currency, making each dollar shrink less and less and less till it disappears like a magician. And no, I can't do that. I wish I could. I never could get that trick down. But our dollar is worth less and less every day by the phonies, the phony crooks and the banksters at the Fed. And she's taking trips to China on your dime. What the hell's with that? These two people in the White House are vacation happy. They want to take a vacation to China, let them pay for it with their own money. Let them pay for the gas for that plane. Let them pay for the security, the Secret Service. Write a check. Say, United States government, I pay for everything. But don't put it on the backs of the taxpayer, and you can't tell anybody that's a campaign trip, because he ain't running for re-election. That's over. Really makes him mad. I read she's playing ping pong. This is the kind of first lady we got. To me, she's the last lady. And he's the last guy they should have elected as president. They were stupid enough to elect him not once but twice. Well, anyway, sorry, it just gets my hackles up. So where is this plane? They need to be looking for it on land. Somebody's got it stashed somewhere. I've put reports on that United States thinks it's in Pakistan. American General and Boeing last week thought it was in Pakistan. We ought to be looking at terrorist areas and terrorist-supported areas, and that's where the thing probably is. They got it in the hangar. They got it covered up by a tarp and camouflage. How many movies have we seen, James Bond and everything else, where they take a jet, they put it in the ocean, or they hide it, or do something with it? Hijackers hijacked the plane to Entebbe in Uganda. And we're killing poor Jews on the plane. And Idi Amin came out to negotiate, and the Israelis went and rescued all those people, and they lost a brave Israeli soldier that day. May he rest in peace. The Israelis found it. Why don't we put the Israelis looking for these guys? They'd probably find them in 20 minutes, because the Israelis don't screw around. They kick butt. They got probably a better intelligence agency than we do. They can find terrorists and bombers and guys shooting missiles at them because they do it to survive. And we got a guy going, oh, I didn't get my Final Four, and I hope I don't get screwed this time. And he's on Ellen DeGeneres, and she goes, oh, I'm sorry to tell you, but I have now more Twitter talk than you do. I've beat your record. This is the kind of guy. He's worried about Twitter while people out there are lost. Like it's a lost episode or Flight 33 is missing on the Twilight Zone. You ever saw that? A plane is headed into New York, and suddenly they find they're over New York, but they're in New York, 1939. Next flight, they turn around and they go back, and they're in New York in the days of the dinosaur to see this little brontosaurus eaten with its head go up and down. And they can never get back. They can never get back to the New York of our time. That was 1962. So you got a Lost episode, and that island in Lost was right in this area, or you got the Twilight Zone. But why can't they find this plane? And why aren't they looking on land? If it ain't out in the ocean, and it would have run out of fuel a long time ago after 8 or 9 hours, then it's got to be on land somewhere. Or either the third possibility that no one wants to suggest, except the Daily Star in England did. One guy said he saw it in the jungles, and some said that it was rescued by a UFO and landed in the jungle. That's the only other possibility. You step from the normal to the paranormal. So I ask Obama, the Chinese, the Malaysians, the Australians, the New Zealanders, the Vietnamese, look in the most likely spots, which is land. If you haven't seen debris after 2 weeks, and it's got to be landed somewhere, or it's got to be crashed somewhere. And if it crashed somewhere, somebody would have seen a plume of smoke by now from the burning airplane. And somebody would have seen dead bodies, and we aren't seeing any satellite pictures of dead bodies either. Something's wrong here. Something's fishy in Denmark. Except in this case, it ain't in Denmark. It ain't in Denmark, it's in Malaysia. Or it's in the Indian Ocean, or it's in Pakistan, or India, or Vietnam, or some coastal area close enough for a plane to land. And who knows, it might even be in China itself. They might have done this to kidnap the 20 information technology experts that are known to be on that plane. So that's what I'd like to see in the news stories. Is anybody searching in our CIA? Is anybody searching the British Secret Service? Is anybody searching in... Does a Malaysian have an intelligence agency? I know the Australians do. They spy on their own people. They got a big electronic surveillance facility that we run in their own country that no Australian can get into. It's like Area 51. But they can't find one single plane that should have been down 2 weeks ago. Well, the mystery deepens on that. This is a guy from Pittsburgh asking the questions that nobody else will ask, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.